Welcome to the Powercast with Charlie Johnson. I'm one of the world's leading fitness and transformation coaches. I'm going to be providing you with the tools to build your ultimate body and mind. Okay, so pleasure today to have superstar client Nigel on the podcast. So thank you very much.
Pleasure to be here, sir.
Funnily ironic timing is we actually met at the weekend again over in Spain. So we had a nice, we trained arms and then we went for a nice lunch on the beach with our respective wives, which was a pleasant day.
Indeed, sir, indeed. Yeah, trained arms. Couldn't walk after doing arms, strangely.
You actually you had your Apple Watch, no, not Apple Watch, a Fitbit watch on. It said your heart rate was up to about 150, which is a good sign for an arm day.
Yeah, it was good. It was good heart rate zone there. And then had a cracking lunch on the beach. And it was good. It was good for our respective halves to meet each other and for Stephanie to meet you as well. So amazing.
Yeah. We were just having an interesting conversation about how people come across sometimes. I was saying to Nigel that I'm not aware of how I come across, but I just try to be myself at all times. I don't like, the greatest thing in life is when you care what people think, but then you don't really care, so you can just be yourself and do what you want anyway.
Absolutely.
Which can be a bit of a crass statement to say, but you know what I mean then, Nigel, don't you?
Yeah, totally. And I was talking with Stephanie about that, about so many people out there, so many people on let's say social media platforms that portray a certain lifestyle or a certain way of being and don't necessarily practice what they preach. So it's rather fake. And then when she met you, she like turned around and she said, "Oh my God, Nigel, it's true what you say. You know, he's so genuine and down to earth." And I said, "Yeah, it is what it is with Charlie. There's no nonsense, there's no BS or anything like that. Just a genuine dude." So yeah. And
that's the thing I think we spoke about as well at the weekend. Funny enough, is that what frustrates me, not frustrates me is not the right word, but my passion for me has always been fitness, and I love helping people, and I want to improve myself physically and mentally as much as I can, and I'm like documenting that journey. And then the knowledge that I learn, I then pass on to you. Like obviously when we trained on Saturday, there's a few little nuggets in terms of like arm training and bits and pieces where we changed some stuff. And we trained together previously earlier in the year, and I showed you some other stuff in terms of upper body movements just to improve the way you're moving, which made a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, I incorporated a lot of that stuff from our initial training earlier on in the year, and that helped me leaps and bounds to progress. Corrected a lot of things I wasn't probably doing correctly, and slight tweaks to technique, and really engaging the muscle and that mind to muscle connection. And I did that, and I found that I progressed so much, particularly, where I had imbalances. I took a lot on board that you told me, and those imbalances are now pretty much balanced. So now I'll do the same with the little tweaks that you mentioned during our arm session, and just keep on improving from there.
It's onwards and upwards journey.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
We've sort of skipped a stage, but if you introduce yourself, Nigel, and say who you are and where you're from.
Yeah,
a lot of people probably recognize your name from my Instagram feeds. You're fairly notorious now.
Yeah, spamming all over the place. So I'm Nigel. I'm from Gibraltar, south of Spain. We're British, so we speak English and Spanish. Got a very proud nation here.
Love that.
I came across Charlie about a year ago. So my lovely sister-in-law actually had found Charlie on Instagram, funny enough. I think she had spotted you. You had tagged yourself somewhere in one of these restaurants or somewhere down close to Gibraltar in Marbella, which is about 45-minute drive away. She started following Charlie. I think at the time Charlie had a package on or something like that, some sort of deal. She signed up. The results were amazing. She was really happy. I was at a stage whereby I hadn't done any training whatsoever for a long time. Was pretty down in the dumps, low self-esteem, wasn't really happy with myself. She said, "Look, Nigel, give this guy a go." I was a bit apprehensive. I said, I don't know about these personal trainers. I don't know about these online coaches.
It's another internet hustler.
Yeah, absolutely. And she told me, and she turned around and said, "Look, Nigel, honestly, I'm about 6 weeks into a 12-week program. Look at the difference. I can tell you this guy's genuine." So I gave it a go. And here we are, over a year on, down the line, from client, long-term client, and now to mates. And
it was awesome.
It is. It's truly awesome. And the impact on my life has been so positive in so many aspects. Not just from training. We're talking about training. My body, as you can see, my body composition has changed totally.
Would you say at the start it was fair to say you were probably the skinny fat stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, slim fat, skinny fat. Yeah, with a bit of like a pear shape going on. There was all sorts of wobbly bits going on there, man. But yeah, so I think since then, I still want to improve, still want to push, of course. But the body composition has improved so much more.
I think your overall shape and structure has changed so much. I think where we've gone through that phase, and that's where people need to understand. Obviously, we dieted you down for a while, got you much leaner, and then we sort of reversed out of that and then focused on adding lean muscle tissue and improving your metabolism and putting food up.
Absolutely.
And your body's responded really well. Like now you're reaping the fruits of your hard work as we pull off the weight towards your glamorous wedding in September, which I'm very graciously coming to. With Mike as my plus one.
Absolutely.
Be romantic. So we'll obviously, when we get to work towards your wedding, you'll truly see the results of your hard work. And like, even I think that image I sent Nigel an image a few days ago from where he started to where he is now. And like, you look like a different guy. And even on just like the way you're sort of standing, your confidence in yourself is unbelievable. For me, that's the main thing, because like it's all great looking good on the beach or whatever, but when you can carry that confidence from your physique into your everyday life, your job and your relationship, the whole rest of your life, they can then 10x.
Definitely. I mean, like touching back on a post I think you put out yesterday, the day before, a general poll you put, do you train to look good or feel good? And I actually voted on that myself. And I put, looking good is great, but my personal one there was feeling good.
The thing is, if you feel good, you'll look good.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted to get to, and it's just helped me in leaps and bounds. So, like, if we go into like how it's helped me professionally, like I've now since sort of like going through this transformation. Obviously, I'm a lot more confident. I value myself a lot more. So it showed me that. It showed me discipline.
What do you do for work, Nigel? For anyone who's not aware.
So I mean, I've always worked in finance, more traditional finance and capital markets, did a bit of trading on the stock markets. But now I've actually taken a leap into the dark side of some of my old colleagues and gone into the murky world of cryptocurrencies, which, really excite me. I work for a company that's just launched the world's first tokenized securities exchange. And we're also launching some exchange features for, if you want to buy some Bitcoin, some Litecoin, as well as some other coins. And we're sort of like, we've got some global expansion plans. So we're looking at Asia. I've just come back from Hong Kong. We're looking at the UK. We're looking at the US. So a lot happening there. But I don't think I would have ever grasped an opportunity like that had I been in the same mind frame that I was prior to, let's say, meeting Charlie, signing up to your program and completely changing the way that I think. So not just in terms of training, it sort of like re-educates you, if that kind of makes sense.
I think one of the nicest things I remember, you sent me a message. I think you were in Istanbul. You sent me a message saying, I've just done a presentation, a seminar in front of like thousands of people. I would never have been able to do that 12 months ago. And, I was like, and that really made me smile. It meant a huge amount to me at the time. And that again, really compounded to me how much influence, like, training's all great to look good, but the real mental benefit to it is a whole other level, in my opinion.
I mean, absolutely. That was a real mind opener for me, because I would have never done that even 10 years ago. Never. I would have never had the confidence to get out on stage in front of, I think it was about 2,200 people, or 2,500 people, and just with confidence tell them what we were doing, talk to them about what the industry was doing, the future of cryptocurrency, but not only that, but portray, that level of confidence. Like my body language, my colleagues who were there at the time, they were telling me, Nigel, your body language on stage, you rocked it. So I'm truly grateful for that, Charlie, because honestly, I would not have been able to have done that.
No, it's exciting to see. And like, the sky's the limit is how far you can go once you've got your mindset in place, like you do now, to be fair. So like where you can go work-wise, physique-wise, whatever you want to achieve, like, is within reach now, because I think your mind is in the place where you're like open-minded to trying different things and pushing yourself out there. And I actually, funny enough, something that's interesting you mentioned at the weekend was how, like, some of the training styles I have are a little bit unorthodox, but they get results. And like you said, people at the gym are saying, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing X? Why are you doing Y? And it's like, people are too afraid to do something different. If you do the same thing you've always done, you get the same results. So you need to take a leap into the unknown sometimes, try something different, and just see what happens, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even sometimes I myself am a little bit apprehensive to change. I think we all are, human nature.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
To change, but once you do that and you make that change, and then you can see the results, you can feel them. It's the best thing that you can ever do. But yeah, there's many times in the gym where I've been doing one of your crazy drop sets, or these continual, like 6 sets, bang them out, or that disgusting calf one after a chest workout where you do like 200 reps on calf.
Yeah, someone told me that the other day. They couldn't walk afterwards. I was like, your calves be great, though.
Yeah, but mine were destroyed. But funny enough, the guy who said, "Why are you doing it?" I explained it to him. The following week, I actually saw him doing that same exercise, 10 sets, pretty much, I think 20 rep range, something like that, each set, and just went for it. So yeah, absolutely.
That's the key. Sometimes you're just pushing yourself. And it's funny how people are like sheep. And that's one of the downsides of social media, is that people will see like one person who's a fitness celebrity as such will go and do something, and then everyone thinks that's the only way you can go and get in shape.
Yeah, it's like a block mentality kind of thing, almost.
Like sheep.
Yeah, it happens as well where we see it a lot with these fad diets, and that's one thing that I find with your program. It's not at all. It's super sustainable.
That's why I like having nice, like, I'll say to you, like, pretty much everyone, like, every week go and have something, whatever you want, as one meal with your family, partners, or whatever. Because if you can't do that, then what's the point, really? Because you're not really living a life.
Absolutely.
And like having like sweet bits of food in there, like I'll throw in at you cookies and muffins and stuff like that sometimes to give you some extra food. And I know you're a big fan of the cereal and the Cocoa Pops in particular.
And the dark chocolate and the ground rice.
Yeah, I mean, the dark chocolate and ground rice is like, some people think it's weird. It is my favorite meal. Like,
I look forward to it.
Yeah, genuinely.
I look forward to it. But I tell you what I have found as well with since starting your program, my relationship with food is it's a lot more healthier now than it would have been previously. So
what would you put that down to in particular? Would you say that's because you have more structure, or because you feel like your blood sugar levels are more stable from eating better?
So I think it's a mixture of both. So your program gives brilliant structure. So I think that has a massive impact, is the structure. And then secondly, because you're getting quality nutrients, you're respecting your fullness as well. You're not eating excessive amounts. You're eating well. I'm never starving at all in the diet. I eat, you see my meal plans, meals in the day. But I think because each meal is portioned correctly, it doesn't create like crazy swings in blood sugar levels. So I think that tied in with the structure, it just creates an overall healthy relationship with food, both physically and mentally. So that's been a massive help for me.
And for me, to be honest, that's why I've never been a big fan of intermittent fasting with people, because it sets up a bit of an unhealthy relationship with food. With a lot of people, what they'll end up doing is they don't eat like pretty much all day, and then they'll binge for one massive meal, which will digestively cause a shitstorm, without being polite. And then like their body just becomes a mess and super inflamed. And Nigel was actually saying before we got on the call about how your joints feel much better since you start taking more fish oils, and that's because you're going to have less inflammation in your body. And by having less junk food and less processed crap in the diet, you're going to reduce the amount of inflammation you're going to be having because of the food you're eating, which again will make you feel better and actually live longer as well.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, not that I was a huge junk food fan previously anyway, but obviously I would binge now and again, and I'd end up feeling like crap. I've got an injury on my left shoulder, which would funny enough, it would just become worse. And since I've trained, not only the training, but I think the diet, since I've started that, I'm having very little problems with that left shoulder, with that injury. Mobility is probably the best it can be, and it has since I've been operated on. There's no inflammation in the joint, so it's just been an overall healthy impact, on my life. Do you know what's
I don't know if you find the same. So I find the same is whenever I find something new for training or nutrition, I get excited because I think I know this now, and like what can I do in the next 12 months with this skill set of now being able to train this way or whatever. And it'll be the same for you. Like if you think how much you've progressed in your life in the last 12 months, from the change in maybe your mindset into your physique and your health, what you can now achieve in the next 3 to 5 years with your body and mind in that position compared to where you were at, is like sky's the limit.
Absolutely. And like, I'm super excited, like to see, bring on the next 12 months, the next 24 months, even the next 5 years, and just, with this new way. Yeah, I am, it's like, as you say, excited for life. I'm up early. I've got energy. It's great. It's just great. It's been the best thing that I have ever done.
That's genuinely, I'm smiling. I appreciate that massively from the bottom of my heart. So thank you for that. With everything, obviously, one tip that you could give everyone as a client, what would you say? Because obviously you travel a hell of a lot now for work and busy office environment with work. What would you say are tips for people to manage that? Because this is one of the big excuses I get from people. I originally obviously came from a corporate background, having a proper job, so I did it. What would you say your like nuggets of tips that you could leave with anyone to finish off the podcast today?
So there'd be a couple. Firstly, it would be ignore the noise that you hear in your corporate office space. That's the first problem, and probably foremost, ignore it. So for me personally, when I first started, people were like, Nigel, why are you weighing your food? Why are you portioning up this way? Why are you eating that way? Blah, blah, blah. It'd be all of that. And then it'd move on to the gym. So some of my colleagues would go to the gym and then they'd see the way I'd be training. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it would get quite hostile sometimes. And you know what? I would let it get to me. And it would, in the early days, it probably stifled a little bit of my progression because I probably half listened to them. So first thing is ignore that noise. You are on your own journey, with your coach, with Charlie. Go down that journey and ignore all the bullshit, excuse my language, but ignore it. Ignore what's going on outside, because a lot of people are probably saying those things because they're jealous or they're envious, and they probably don't have the minerals to either step up, say, all right, I'm really out of shape, I'm really unhealthy, I want to do something about it, and make that change. So just ignore it and go down your own path. It's your journey, and don't let anyone disrupt you from that. That would be the main one.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Out of interest, because this is like you said, this obviously happened with your fitness journey. I had the same thing with my business journey. Like, why are you posting these photos on Instagram, YouTube, and all these other things? Have you got to the point now where people have asked you, like, how have you done this, Nigel? Have you changed shape and all these other bits and pieces?
Every day. Well, every day. Every time I'm in.
but the same people who were asking you before, why are you doing this?
Yeah. So
that must put a smile on your face.
In fact, I can't mention names, but one of the guys who was actually quite negative at the beginning has actually started following you, Charlie. I'll drop a message to you later on because I noticed. Oh yeah, he follows you now. Okay, look at that. So, but yeah, daily, they ask me like, how did you do it? Why did you do it? And I'm very honest. I tell them why I did it. I did it because I was completely out of shape. I recognized that, and I wanted to do something about it. I didn't want to live a life, where, I walk 10 steps and I'm out of breath, or I feel like my heart's going to explode. I also wanted to feel comfortable in my own skin, and for me, that was it. When I was at the stage where I wasn't really comfortable in my own skin, I thought, that's it. Something's got to be done here.
Is that the trigger point for you? Was that one moment that you particularly remember? You thought, oh, this is enough.
Yeah. That's one thing. I think it was around January time. It was January, February, just right before. And Samantha was telling me about your program and about the results that she had achieved. And I don't know, it just triggered something off in me. I sort of like was looking at myself, almost a little bit self-loathing.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's it, mate. You got to do something about it. Get up off your ass and let's make that change.
That's truly inspiring. And it's that thing that you took action to then get the results you've wanted, and now how that one choice you've taken has now led your life down like a greatly improved path by the sounds of it. So that's truly inspiring.
Massively. And I couldn't have done it without you as well. So I'm truly grateful.
Team effort. I just steer the ship and just point in the right direction. You get them fired up. So that's all it is.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today then, Nigel. And I'm sure we'll keep everyone up to date with your progress as we come into your wedding shred. I know he was having a little whinge earlier at the HIIT session I made him do. Yesterday was pretty savage. So how was that? I think you said it was pretty effective.
Yeah, I mean, it was brutal, don't get me wrong. But yeah, super effective. So I think we've incorporated that now last 2 weeks, and like the change to the physique as well, that's had. I don't know if it's a shock to the body or what, but it's super, super effective. So my advice to any guys out there who are on the program and are thinking, oh, Charlie, why are you telling me to do this? Guys, shut up, do it. Trust me.
Just man up and get on with it, and then report feedback. That's all you have to do. And then if we can make adjustments as you need to go.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, absolute pleasure to have you on, buddy. So I look forward to seeing the rest of your progress, and we'll keep documenting it as we come in towards the wedding shred for September.
Definitely, and we've got to decide what we're going to train on the wedding day as well, yeah?
We're gonna have to. I think we should do a debate in the CJ coaching group of what we should train.
Definitely, we'll do that.
I'm going to set that up in the Facebook group after this call.
Nice one.
Pleasure, Nigel. Pleasure.
Thanks, Charlie.